I think it's only fitting that on senior day for the Salukis, that the guy who actually has the most career games played in Banterra makes his final trip to Banterra as well. And it's none other than the smiling face that Saluki Nation still obviously adores. In Dalton Banks joins us here with the Saluki radio crew. Dalton, man, thanks for taking time to join us. Man, you guys are playing great basketball right now, going on the road to beat Missouri State. That had to be a great feeling, especially coming after what was such an emotional win for you guys against your rival in Bradley.
For sure, for sure. And that was the biggest goal, is to try and keep that momentum going after, such a passionate game that was, ISU versus Bradley. I think honestly it was probably one of my favorite games I've played in my college career. So, that was the challenge, is, do we want to keep working with this thing, or are we gonna, let a high turn into a lapse? So, I was proud of the guys and how we competed at Missouri State. That's a hard place to play. They've fought hard. They've had close games. So I was really proud of the effort that we got, and very fortunate to get one and sneak one out on the road.
We'll get into your team, Dalton, and of course your journey in a moment. But it's pretty remarkable, man. I don't even know if you know this number, but tomorrow night, as we talk to you, Tuesday night, it'll be your 95th career Valley game. 95. You've never missed one in your whole career, dating all the way back to your time as a freshman here during your COVID year. That's more than anybody in the league, including Titan Anderson, Darius Hannah, guys who have been in the league for a while. So you are the vet of the vets within the league.
Yeah.
What's that mean to you? Does that number mean anything to you at all? Because I know you have such a respect factor for this league and how good this league is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm as big of a fan of the Missouri Valley as it comes. Out of high school, I came down to three schools: Ball State, Wright State, which obviously Coach Nagy was at coming out of high school, and then Southern. And as soon as I took my official visit and started learning about the culture, about the history of SIU, about the history of the Valley, it was a no-brainer decision for me. So to be there, be here all these years later, it's awesome. This is a wonderful basketball league. It's high level. It's filled with winners, with great coaches, and I couldn't picture myself playing in any other league, just because I think that speaks to what I try to bring out on the basketball court in terms of toughness, competitiveness. I think that this league checks all those boxes for me. So 95, it's crazy to hear you say that, but it's been a wonderful past 5 years, and I'm excited to be here in Southern to kind of wind down where most of it started.
Dalton, what comes to your mind first when you consider the most important lesson you've learned from being a college basketball player?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. I think a lot of the most valuable lessons I've learned, in my life have come from playing college basketball. I think the one that comes to mind is resiliency. I've gone through a lot of stuff, in my career, a lot of stuff that people don't even see. But the one thing that has kept me going is wanting to be a great player, wanting to reach my potential. And when you have bad days, when you have tough games, it can be easy to wilt or quit, or kind of shrivel down. But I think college basketball, being in two great programs, has taught me that no matter what happens to you in your life, you got to wake up the next day and go to work again, especially if you want it, if you truly want it. And I think from the time that I stepped on campus as a freshman, that's the one thing that I've really learned is and not just in basketball but in life, you just got to keep going. No matter what life throws at you, whether it's injuries, setbacks, you can't quit. And I think that's kind of been the talking point in my career, is I've just kept coming. And I put put myself in a position to really look back and have a grateful outlook and be appreciative of my career and what I've kind of done throughout these last 5 years.
Coach Weber used to remind our locker room every single year, and he would talk to the freshmen and he would say to them, your freshman year is going to be really long because you don't know what the next day brings. But at that time, it was 3 years. But now with COVID, and even if you redshirt, he goes, the next 3 or 4 years, whenever you finish college and you have senior day, those 3 or 4 years are going to go faster than that freshman year. Would you say Coach Weber was right about that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can vividly remember driving down from Eau Claire. We got up at about 4 a.m. We drove down to Carbondale. It was about a 9 hour drive. And I just vividly remember grabbing all my stuff from the arena and moving into the apartments at the point and just, kind of being amazed at, everything that was happening in my life and, being really excited. And then, like you said, you blink and then all of a sudden, you're getting to senior night. So it's definitely gone by fast. It's brought me some of the highest of highs in my life. It's also, brought me some of the lowest of the lows, but it's been a wonderful experience. And I'm truly grateful for, everything college has brought me, not only on the court, but, off the court as well. I've, met some of my best friends. I've, had a pleasure of being a part of two unbelievable, programs with great coaches, great fan bases. So I just the word for me is grateful. I don't think I would change anything about my career. And I'm looking forward to trying to write the story that I want to finish.
Dalton, you mentioned it. You said two great programs. Obviously, your time here and now at Illinois State. What's been the best thing about being a Redbird to you? What has it meant to be a Redbird, and where have you grown the most since when you first stepped foot on campus there in Bloomington?
Yeah, I think the best thing about being a Redbird is just the staff and the guys that I have around me. Waking up. College basketball is a hard thing. No matter where you go, it's going to be challenging. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have obstacles that you have to overcome. But when you can show up to work every day and truly say that everybody that you get to interact with on a day-to-day basis, you have an extreme love for, that makes things a lot easier. And I had no idea what I was going to do when I decided to enter the transfer portal. I certainly didn't think I would end up at Illinois State. That was definitely not on my list. But from the moment Coach P reached out and we started to build a relationship, he's become family to me. And that's how I feel about everybody here. And I'm truly grateful, to be able to have that experience. I feel like in terms of growth for me, it's trying to, break down that wall for me. I feel like, at SIU under Coach Mullins, I learned so much. Coach Mullins is an unbelievable, basketball coach, a great person. He really taught me how to be a point guard, how to be a leader, because I didn't necessarily have that role model to look up. We didn't have any upperclassmen point guards when I came in. So I was thrown into the fire, and it's hard because sometimes when you're in it you don't necessarily have the same perspective. But Coach Mullins, he did an unbelievable job of helping me grow. And then obviously when I transferred to ISU, it was almost my turn to pay that back in terms of giving what I learned, sharing my experiences with the young guys like Johnny Kinzinger, Ty Pence, Cade Norris, Chase Walker, all those guys. So that was kind of like my reward, is being able to learn from a great coach, a great staff, being part of a great culture, and then being able to try and pass that down to somebody else.
You took my next question, which was what it has helped you in terms of those early days that you pass on to guys like Johnny and Ty and others in your program. What is the biggest thing outside of just, hey, you got that experience factor that you bring? What's maybe a lesson or two that you've really tried to help them along and help push them along to get them to a step maybe a little bit quicker than you did?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. I think the biggest thing is to be you. When you get to college, there's a lot of stuff going on, right? Like, you're in an entirely different place. You're surrounded by different people. The competition level is different. But at the end of the day, you're a basketball player. You were recruited to be a basketball player. You're a good player. And that's what I've tried to get these guys to understand is you're here for a reason. You're here because you can play. You're here because the coaches believe in you. And, when you're getting all this stuff thrown at you, you need to take it in, learn, show up to work every day and strive to get better, but understand that, you're a good player yourself. And every time you step out on that floor, you just got to be you and you got to compete. And you can see the guys. It's awesome for me because you just see their growth. You see a guy like Johnny Kinziger comes in, slow start, and then all of a sudden you look up late freshman year and he's absolutely balling, and then he continues that obviously into a sophomore year. A guy like Chase Walker, comes into college, works his butt off to lose 40, 50 pounds and is all of a sudden one of the best bigs in the league. A guy like Ty Pence, who, didn't play much his freshman year, but, committed to the weight room, committed to getting in the gym every day, and is now, found himself in a good role for our team. So, again, it's been trying to teach these guys how, to win at a high level, what it takes to win at a high level, but, ultimately to trust who they are, trust, who they can be, and really lean into that.
Dalton, you mentioned you're here for a reason. I think might agree with me. You're there for many reasons. We're all trying to figure out this professional college basketball piece with what's going on, and I think we're all getting a little more comfortable, at least from the outside, away from the court. I think those of us are fine with it or whatever. What about the academic piece? What about your degree? And certainly that's got to be one of the key reasons why not only you, but everyone in every locker room still has to be a part of going to college. What did that part do for you? Where do you see that helping you someday when the basketball is put aside?
Yeah, absolutely. So I graduated last year from ISU with a degree in kinesiology, and then I'm getting my master's in a short fast year program and 1 year in sports management. So that's been big time. I'll leave ISU with 2 degrees. Obviously, no student debt, which is amazing. But people ask me that all the time, and honestly, I would say college basketball has taught me probably more than anything that I've learned in the classroom in terms of setting me up for success. Just all the challenges you go through, all the hard practices, all the setbacks. That's kind of molded me into the person that I am today and that I'm still becoming. So again, I'm really fortunate to have had 2 coaches that have prepped me for what's to come, and I know because of that and because of the stuff that I've gone through, the scars that I have, I'll be set up for success for whatever comes next.
Dalton, I want you to be comfortable with answering this the best you can. Can you confirm or dispel the rumor that the real reason you transferred was because you got word that Mike Reese was retiring and nothing to do with the Watson Martin team in broadcasting?
Oh man, that is 100% a rumor. I have so much love for Mr. Reese. We still talk back and forth, and I'm surprised he's not on this interview. I thought I would be able to, get a chance to see his face. I'm hoping he's going to be at the game tomorrow. I'm excited for that. So yeah,
Well,
that is
will you tell him
100% a
to stop
rumor.
spreading that rumor? I mean, would you at least do that for us?
I got you. I got you.
Dalton just loves tormenting me. He had to do it when I was at Indiana State. He had to be a Saluki. And when I decided to switch over, he's like, I can't be on that same side as Luke. So I don't think it's anything to do with you, R Dub. I think it's fully on this side of the equation as well. Dalton, let's talk about your team. You've hinted at, of course, Johnny with the famous cut near his eye and how famous that has gotten within a year. He may look like a paper boy, but how quickly in your time around him, even though like last year, it wasn't like right from the get go, he was getting those 20+ point games and everyone's like, look out for Johnny. But how quickly did you realize like this guy is going to be really good when he figures it all out?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about Johnny is he is the ultimate competitor. And with guys like that, you feel it right away. And I'd be lying to you if I said I knew he was going to be this good this quick. But I did know that he had that it factor. He's a guy that walks into the gym, and it's no matter what we're doing, if we're competing in shell, if we're doing a breakdown drill, if we're scrimmaging, he is 100% go, 100% competition level all the time. And when you have that, you've got a chance. So Johnny he's been a joy to be around. Like I said, a goal for me when I transferred to ISU was really, step into that leadership role, step into that, mentor role, and share my experiences and, feel good about trying to help someone else. And Johnny has embraced it to the max. Our lockers are right next to each other, and I think Coach P did that for a reason. And he's been like a little brother these last couple of years, and I'm super happy for his success, and I'm looking forward to watching everything he does going forward with his career.
Dalton, you think of glue guys and you look at a stat sheet and someone like Damian Mayo, hard to maybe look at all of his stats and go, how much does he mean to the Salukis? And he means a huge part because of all the things that he does for the team. How is Jordan Davis that type of guy for Illinois State for you guys this year in terms of all the little things that he does? And when he has big nights scoring the basketball, it turns out to be a really good night for the Redbirds.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan has most the ultimate value to our team. I think about some of the plays he's had this year against Northern Iowa. He flies in from half court, gets an offensive rebound, lays it in. Bradley, big moment in the game, late shot clock, air ball three, he comes, catches it, reverse layups. Some of the defensive matchups he's taken up on. He has immense value to us. And the thing about Jordan is, I think he's bought into that role as the year has gone through. I think these last couple of years, he's gone through some stuff. You transfer from a Big Ten school like Wisconsin, have some success. You think things are going to be easy. You come down to the Missouri Valley, and he's learned how to be a winner, how to affect winning. And when we're at our best, he's at our best, and we've really challenged him to provide that on a day-to-day basis. And it's been awesome to watch him grow as well. And it's such a joy to play with a guy like that who can affect the game in, like you said, so many ways that might not necessarily show up on the box score.
Let's just kind of wrap up on this point with you, and we really do appreciate the time. So much has changed since you played here. I mean, there's so many new faces. Obviously, mostly a completely new staff outside of Coach Maiman, who you knew when you were here. But is there any sort of a special feeling that your last, at least true road game within the league, ironically, is going to be at the place that it all starts?
Without a question. I think about last year when I came back. It was almost a little bit of that nervous feeling. You invest so much in a place, like I did. You care so much about a place. You can't help but wonder what people are going to feel when you transfer to the rival in conference. But what I came to realize is for every mean DM you get, every maybe boo you get, there's five other people that you were involved with at your former school that want nothing but to wish you success and see you do the best and be the best that you can. So that's why it brings more of a joy and excitement for me to be here this year. And I'm really looking forward to competing and ultimately playing a basketball game in a gym that you spent so much time with. You grew, learned with so many people. And like you said, there's a lot of new faces, but there's still a lot of people that I care about tremendously, and that people that care about me. So like you said, it's kind of storybook for me to be able to come back here and finish my career on the road at a place that you love so much. So yeah, it's gonna be a really cool moment for me.
Okay, now this may be the hardest question I have asked you. And honestly, out of all the athletes we've had, I'd even put any of the Saluki athletes I've interviewed in my time here, my 2 years as being the voice. This may be the hardest question I've ever posed to anybody. So I hope you're ready for it, Dalton. And that is, how did you come up with the most perfect nickname for Justin Inslee, which is Pickle? He says that you were the
Oh.
origin of the Pickle nickname. So there's multiple three. For me, I want to thank you because there's no more perfect nickname for him and his mood than being called the Pickle. So how did you come up with it? I mean, like, and art, is that true? I mean, is that fact true?
It's really funny that Justin says that because I don't think I am the one that came up with that nickname. I think it was just one of those things that someone jokingly said one day and it just fit and stuck. But I appreciate Justin giving me credit for that, but I don't think I can take credit for that because I don't think it was me. But No, that is funny. That's my pickle for life, man. And that's one of those people that I'm excited to see tomorrow. And he's a big reason why this place is so special to me. So really looking forward for that.
Well, I know his dad, obviously Steve, still in the area as well,
Yeah,
and obviously a huge fan of yours too. And it's funny, Dalton. There's so many people this year where Coach Watson and I we've done something. I've mentioned, the pickle nickname, and I've had so many Saluki fans. I hope you take pride in this. So many Saluki fans have come up to me and go, "Hey, we love what you do. Can you explain what the pickle nickname is?" So
I love that. I love that. And it's just, yeah, I really don't know the origin. I don't even know if there is one. So that just makes it even that much better.
it makes it even better, and it all comes full circle. Dalton, as you know, I didn't get a chance to work with you, but through whether it's Riley, Justin, Coach Watson, Reese, so many that have, they think the world of you. We appreciate you taking the time to do this, and uh, we would say we wish you luck, but obviously the Salukis need to try to break this skid that they're on. But all of us are huge fans of you and wish you nothing but the best. Congrats and have a healthy and strong finish to the year.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.